shot at me. So I felt like it was a little bit of jealousy.
No, I just didn't give an F. That's all.
Cool.
Just didn't give an F about it at all.
Yeah, but when you said in
ended
comments,
up-
you said something there. I think he's an attention seeker. So even with the racist comments, even with the homo stuff that he was doing, I think he's just a big attention seeker. He gonna do anything to get attention on him, and I think it's gonna backfire come January 31st.
Stylistically, he believes he's the best, and I know I'm the best, and that's why we're getting to this point now. He wants to challenge himself. I'm here for it. I'm here to challenge myself every time.
Everyone thinks they know who wins this fight, but one mistake on January 31st changes everything. Watch closely, because this matchup is not what it looks like. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are officially set to face each other on January 31st, and the entire boxing world is locked in. This fight brings together two very different styles. Shakur is known for his sharp defense, perfect timing, and calm discipline inside the ring. Teofimo brings explosive power, confidence, and non-stop aggression. It is a clash of brains versus force, control versus chaos. Fans are calling it one of the most important and exciting matchups of the year, and expectations are extremely high as fight night gets closer.
It's cool. He's supposed to feel that way. Like, he's supposed to say the things that he's saying. He's not saying nothing out of the ordinary or something that I didn't expect. Only thing that I kind of took away, he got on a podcast, I want to say, he said that I was slow. And that's the part where I'm like, okay, he's going to be very surprised come fight night to where it's like, you really thought I was slow? Like, is that something like you put in your brain and thought it was about to come?
The tension exploded during heated press conferences when Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez finally came face to face. Things became even more intense when Teofimo's father jumped into the argument. Shakur calmly pointed out flaws he believes exist in Teofimo's style and dismissed the idea that being a southpaw gives automatic advantages. He said records mean nothing if they are not built against elite competition. Teofimo's father fired back, questioning Shakur's resume and saying he still has to prove himself on the biggest stage. Voices were raised, words got personal, and the moment felt messy, emotional, and real. That chaos added even more pressure and drama to an already massive January 31st showdown.
I'm not none of them fighters. I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier, he said, Teo never lost to a southpaw. Well, I never lost to an orthodox. So, it ain't no different, but
the difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think y'all did either. I ain't
It's
see.
not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You've
for
never
6
been on a big
rounds.
stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko.
Promoter Eddie Hearn stepped in with strong praise for Shakur Stevenson, calling him one of the most underrated fighters in boxing today. Hearn explained that despite Shakur's success as both an amateur and a professional, many fans still don't fully respect his skill level. His footwork, speed, defense, and ring IQ are elite, but they often go unnoticed because his style is clean and controlled. Hearn believes Shakur's consistency, discipline, and ability to adapt make him special. According to him, the boxing world is only starting to realize just how great Shakur Stevenson really is.
Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound, top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is
Legendary fighter Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts on the matchup while speaking directly with Shakur Stevenson. Roy emphasized that adaptability will be the key factor in this fight. He explained that fighters who can move well and change styles are the hardest to deal with. Shakur agreed, saying he will not lock himself into one approach. He plans to move, cut angles, or stand his ground depending on what the fight demands. Roy praised Shakur for showing this flexibility in past fights and said those qualities create elite-level matchups. He also warned that Teofimo can be very dangerous when focused and capable of making smart adjustments mid-fight. In Roy's view, mindset and preparation will decide everything. If both fighters show up sharp, this becomes a high-level chess match. He encouraged Shakur to stay hungry, confident, and mentally strong.
I think you have a masterful foot game as well, and I think that's probably what's going to be the hardest thing for him to adjust to. So how do you think he's going to adjust to that?
I don't want to give out too much. So,
okay.
but I mean, we all know he had problems with people that move around the ring. He wanted people to stand in front of them, and he could pick them apart when you stand right there in front of him. But I plan on doing, I'm not going to say the game plan, but I plan on doing a little bit of both. I plan on moving around. I don't plan on just standing in front. I plan on doing everything that it takes to win.
And I do applaud the fact that you did, like Andre just said, you did show people that you are versatile. You can do whatever is necessary to win a fight. This is the best, in my opinion. These are the best type of fighters to see. And Teofimo has shown sometimes that he can also be versatile and he can do whatever is necessary. Just sometimes he seems to have mental issues.
Boxing analysts have recently been questioning the gap between hype and reality in the sport. Over the past month, many big events were promoted as historic, yet failed to deliver. One major example was a highly anticipated card that fell apart due to injuries and last-minute pullouts. Fans felt disappointed after being promised greatness. Shakur Stevenson ended up fighting an opponent few people knew, while other big matchups collapsed. Analysts also criticized how platforms like DAZN and media outlets failed to properly promote Shakur's fights, even when Teofimo Lopez was involved. On paper, these are elite fighters, but poor promotion and confusing marketing caused fans to lose interest. It highlighted a serious problem on the business side of boxing, where even great fights can be overlooked without proper storytelling.
To do that and then not even promote the fight, this is a cool fight. I don't understand, to me, it's a bit bizarre because the fans came out and they were like, man, Turkey, he's taking over the game. Remember last year, about a year ago, in February of 2025, he had the card with Better Biev and Bivol and whoever else was on it. And the card was announced and people said, this is the best card that we've ever seen in boxing history. Then the fight card came, Shakur's opponent pulled out, Floyd Schofield. Daniel Dubois pulled out of the fight, right? Because he was sick. And it wasn't this legendary card that people talked about. You know what I mean? And people, now no one even says that now. Before they were talking about oh, it's the best card boxing's ever seen. And then the card happened and it kind of just came and went. It wasn't the card that they said it was going to be, put it that way. So that's the point I'm making in this video is a lot of the preconceived notions that you guys put out, not Boxing Ego, I ain't put that out on my channel, right? But a lot of the stuff y'all said turned out to be cap. The best card we've ever seen. And then half of the fights, two of the top three fights didn't even go off as planned because of injuries and sicknesses and pullout. And Shakur ended up fighting an electrician that no one ever heard of except for UK blokes.
Floyd Schofield sent a bold and controversial message aimed at Shakur Stevenson and the boxing community. He questioned the hype surrounding fantasy matchups and pointed out that neither Shakur nor Tank Davis has faced the top 4 opponents of their era, despite fans demanding those fights for years. Schofield said many discussions online are unrealistic and ignore how boxing really works. He also addressed comments about fighters' physiques, explaining that body type does not decide skill or greatness in the ring. Schofield expressed hope that Shakur takes on strong, proven opponents before moving up in weight. His message was clear: real legacy is built by facing challenges, not avoiding them. Records and hype alone do not define greatness.
Shakur haven't fought none of the top 4 of his era for the last, how many years they've been calling for them fight? These dudes not fighting like that. So that's fantasy fights, thinking, oh, Keyshawn gonna go all the way up and fight Devin. And man, that's fantasy stuff. That's all that stuff is. And
you even said that he was like cut up and shit, you know what I mean, on that, what you said, snack?
Nah, I said I respect. Oh, do you mean a thing? What you talking about?
Keisha.
Yeah, Keyshawn got stocky. He got stocky, but he stockiness don't mean nothing. Stockiness don't mean, I hope we get to fight Keyshawn before he go to 147. 140 Keyshawn would be a good fight for Kid. I think Keyshawn.
Is that why you upset?
Is
that why you upset because he's leaving?
I'm never upset. I'm not upset telling the truth about these guys leaving and running. I said it years ago what was going to happen. People told me I was lying. Oh, y'all capping. Y'all ain't going to fight Keyshawn. I said, Keyshawn ain't fighting us. I said, Shakur ain't fighting us. Yeah, we lined up for Shakur. We didn't pull out. It's a fact. Why won't we get the fight when he got out the hospital? It wasn't his fault. He trained hard. He did everything else. Somebody tried to kill him. And the toxicology showed that. Why wouldn't a real champion want to give this young man a fight who really stepped up to the plate to fight him and went through all this adversity to make it there, and somebody poisoned him? He deserved a shot to fight. But that wasn't like that there. And it's for a reason. So, I found out this shit is just smoke and mirrors, man. Has nothing to do with boxing. Has a lot to do with the money made behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I know Shakur better step it up, or that's boring for boxing. So they're not gonna keep him even if he win. If that fight continue to be.
Analysts AK and Barack broke down the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight by comparing their journeys and mentalities. They described Shakur as deeply passionate and focused, someone who has been chasing greatness since his amateur days. His goal is pound-for-pound recognition and a permanent place among boxing's legends. Teofimo, while extremely talented, has experienced ups and downs, including personal struggles and moments where his motivation faded. Analysts believe those struggles could either fuel him or expose weaknesses against a disciplined fighter like Shakur. They highlighted Shakur's consistency, sharpened through years of elite training and sparring with champions like Terence Crawford. At the same time, they noted Teofimo's recent performances show he has reconnected with his love for boxing. That makes this fight dangerous, emotional, and unpredictable.
He's a kid that has always wanted to be considered the best in the sport. From the amateurs till now, he wants to be pound for pound top dog. He wants to be on Mount Rushmore, so on and so forth. Teofimo, I feel that he's had that passion, right? But he's had lapses to at times where he thought about even quote unquote retired and said he was done with this game. He's had, sometimes, at times issues with his father that, they've been able to reconcile and move on, but kind of lost some passion for the sport because of the way he was treated. Now, I don't know if that helps you because it creates this chip on your shoulder as a fighter to keep continuing to prove the world wrong that you are one of the best, or if it psychologically affects you against a guy like Shakur.
Yeah, I think a guy like, when you go against a guy like Shakur reminds me of Bud Crawford. You can't have those lapses. You can't have that kind of mindset. And I think, Teo's been very vocal about the things that he struggled with. And, he was going through a divorce and all of these things were making it really, really hard for him to focus on his first love. But that's the thing. Recently, he said he came back to his first love. He remembers that this is what got him everything he has. And he's back in love with boxing. And that's what we've been wanting to hear. And when we see a Teo like that, he's sharp against Josh Taylor. When we see a Teo like that, he's sharp against Lomachenko and also willing to fight all these guys. Now think about this. I know we call big, heavy punches the boogeyman, but usually the boogeyman is the guy that's hard to beat. And Shakur, no